Alex, what's happened?
The intro track, it's fucking melted. I'm trying to fix it. It's melted to fuck.
What? Why?
Oh, I left it out in the sun, E2, and it was 20 fucking something degrees. It's melted to fuck.
It sounds like shit.
I know. Let me blow on it. Try and just. Yeah, blow. There we go. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody beyond and in between. Welcome back to Larps and Tarps. Today we're going to be covering part 2 of E2. We're finally well rested.
Well, those of us who haven't just been to hoist the colours.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Those who haven't just been LARPing this weekend, not that me and Chloe are even the slightest bit jealous about that.
No.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about Saturday, probably rolling into Sunday as well. So we'll start, Morgan. You woke up Saturday morning. What was the first thing you did? You don't have to get too graphic about this.
Yeah, okay, cool. Had a pre-battle girding poo.
As is tradition.
Yeah, no, I went to, it was my monstering day, so I was getting ready for the emu, so I got up and made my entire camp breakfast, like the absolute hero that I am.
Hooray, medals all round, you're a hero.
And then got ready to go monstering. So again, if you've not been, you can, when you go monstering basically, so again, you're being the bad guys, I guess, you can join a EMU, like elite monstering unit. So you go as like little packs and you get given like a special role and job that you're supposed to do. So rather than just kind of being like a moog, I guess, and going out and fighting, you kind of have a bit more direction. So got my Orc mask on, got my kit on. I think I want to get my monstering kit a bit better because it's a bit basic at the minute. So I want to try and make like a tunic and things. So I look a bit more kind of like an actual orc rather than a guy who's dressed up in chainmail because he has to. You know what I mean?
Just a little guy?
Just a little guy. Make a war skirt, that kind of thing. But I feel like that's probably going to be next year, to be fair, like a long, dark project. But yeah, got ready to go monstering, got my mask on, went up to the gate, usual roles, waited for you guys to, I guess, actually fight. No, in fact, not. I was looking at Tom, but Tom wasn't fighting.
Tom wasn't fighting, no.
Alex and Chloe were fighting, so, I mean, what were you guys doing?
Woke up, warmed up, got ready to join the Dread Shields and head off into battle.
Did you have a morning sausage?
I don't think we'd...
I had tapenade on bread.
You did. You got a good...
Oh, some very nice olive tapenade.
Olive
I thought you were
tapenade.
fighting
Yeah.
day. I thought you all fought together.
No. We went to fight Navarre, didn't we, Morgan?
Yeah, they were monstering against
Oh,
us.
yeah.
I actually saw you both while we were monstering, but I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, we woke up, you had some tapenade, we got ready, went and saw the Dread Shields.
Yeah.
Put some war paint on. I didn't have any makeup or like mascara or anything, but I wanted to black my eyes. So I just grabbed a bit of coal out of the fire, rubbed it into a paste, and just put that on my eyes, and it worked quite well.
look
Really
sick as
effective,
fuck.
yeah.
It did actually work. I was quite surprised. And even through like obviously sweating because it's like 20 however many degrees, it still managed to stay there.
The
Luckily.
smouldering pictures of you coming out of battle with that coal on your face.
Oh, it's a beautiful shot.
Trying
It's
to pretend
made
that
me-
none of it's in my eyes. Yeah.
It's made me want to like change up my makeup and stuff. I'm like, because that looked sick as fuck. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've just got one tiny little tattoo and then just green eyeshadow. It's really boring. I'm like, I need to change it. I need to look scary.
Yeah.
You already do, Chloe.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, then we got together, walked in, and there was a long sweaty wait outside the gate with the sun just beating down.
We were pretty, we were quite at the front as well. So we were one of the first ones through the gate, weren't we? So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I was gutted this time. Me and my lot didn't fight with the EMU. We didn't arrange to fight with the Dornish one. Don't know if you'd
yeah.
have enough kit to have an extra, 15 jackdaws.
No, yeah, so I spoke to them about it. If you guys want an emu, you can.
Cool, that's good to know next time.
They basically have a big bag of red.
Cool.
So I don't think we have masks, though.
Cool.
So
To be fair, we were fucking happy to be
Yeah.
playing Yagara in that heat. We did not want to be wearing masks.
I mean, talk to the guy that runs the Dawn EMU, but we have a big bag of red cloth to make yourself a
Cool.
bit redder. But yeah, grabbing I don't think we have masks, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Did you have any fun, little battle banter? You know how you make a little character for going on the battlefield.
I haven't been making characters because they do tend to die quite quickly.
We did a group one. We were going to be the Bregersland bunch.
The Breggers. Oh, you'd come from Breggers.
Yes, we like Matilda Fisher because she lets us into the gardening competitions. We are the best gardeners in the whole of Bregersland.
Fucking-
but Empire won't let us join them.
No comedy bullshit.
Yes, we weren't very. We played off for that for about an hour whilst waiting until no comedy, march your bullshit.
No, we were hanging out by the gate. We were just kind of again. I feel so many people like put their orc mask on so quickly. I'm like, dude, we've got like 45 minutes before the players get here. Like, don't do that to yourself.
We did kind of come up with this creepy village that worships the trough in the field. That just the pom scum. Everyone, you're born from the trough, you die in the trough.
That does sound like
Trough is the religion.
It's the perfect representation.
I was
of
once a
beginnings
trough
and
guard.
endings.
Don't you know?
What did we do? Yeah, no, we just kind of got, again, usual stuff. There was a few new people who were new to Dawn who were there and stuff. But yeah, just wait to absolutely destroy the players, basically.
Yeah, spoiler.
I know you were saying about you wanted like a better monster kit for when you're monstering and things, but you were one of the few people I saw monstering who actually was acting like an orc.
Oh, that's good.
Like, because a lot of people, like everybody puts their all into it, everybody puts a great effort in, but every now and then you see someone who's acting like a barbarian orc, and you had this kind of like slightly limp posture, like you were kind of like mentally unhinged. When you were shouting, you were throwing your head back, like, and you just started wailing on my shield with this like kind of like lanky limp like gesture, but with quite a lot of force. And I was like, I feel like I'm fighting an orc, even though that's just Morgan in a mask. It was great.
I did make the mistake of wanting to look cool, so decided to wear my black and red gambeson, and then instantly regretted it.
Oof.
How about you, Kerry? Before we start the battle, what were you up to in the morning?
Well, I remember, first thing I remember doing really, because this was weeks ago now, is I went up to the Dornish camp after you guys had all set off and found Emma, Morgan's partner, and we just sat and had a little chill, started hydrating, very different to your vibe. And she was like, oh yeah, after the fire last night. And I was like, wait, what fire? Because I'd missed that entire thing. So she caught me up on all of that. Then we potted around the shops for a bit. I can't really remember much else of what I did. I don't think I did that much during while you guys were away. It was just getting increasingly hot. And I was just very aware that my face paint was all sweating off. So I was just trying to find as much shade as I could, really.
The good thing about fighting, I think the adrenaline helps you forget just kind of how hot you are until afterwards. So you get kind of a bit of a break from the heat that way. But yeah, we saw Tom as well while we were fighting.
Oh, that was a bit of fun. I got to poke at you with my halberd a bit.
Poke?
Poke?
You were not pulling anything with that hot.
Do you not pull your blows? Guys,
I think-
listeners, you have to pull your blows.
Right,
It's very
in all
important.
fairness, he was just hitting my shield because I have my shield
okay, well,
out.
there you go.
And he knew it was me, and we were smiling at each other. It wasn't like yeah. He didn't have a mask on or anything.
Little kisses across the way.
Hello, Alex.
Yeah, but no, it was very intimidating to have that smashing down on my shield.
Tom,
It was
have you
like
ever been
fucking
referred to as intimidating before?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
in this instance.
There we go. So can you describe us to the battle for you step by step then? You've come through the gate. Is it all just like red? Chloe doesn't remember anything. She just wakes up covered in blood.
It's like the way Bruce Banner just blacks out when he's the Hulk.
I just
have no-
imagine you running around the field going, with two swords flailing.
If you see any picture of Chloe in battle, that's pretty much what she's
I
doing.
mean, that's why I imagine
there have
that,
been
yeah.
some pictures that come out, and I just look so concerned in every single one of them, and none of them are very good angles.
Is it not because you can't see without your glasses?
I mean, that's partly it.
You haven't
but
got
also,
the Smorgan smolder down yet without the glasses.
No. But yeah, I just look concerned. Yeah, partly because I can't see, but also just because I just get so angry. Like, I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't really fully remember too much from the battle because, like I said, it's been a while. But I remember. What do I remember?
Did you take a blow to the head at any point? Maybe did Nietzsche's halberd catch you?
I think I ran into a branch.
I don't think I haven't come across Chloe yet on the battlefield.
Consider yourself lucky.
I saw Chloe. No, I didn't see Chloe, but I did fight near Chloe at A1, and she was bleeding out. So maybe
I did. I remember seeing. The thing is, I can remember the battle from E1 because I remember seeing you at E1 and going,
Yeah.
oh, because it was when I
I'ma
didn't
kill
have a
that
sword. It was
motherfucker.
when I didn't have a sword just before Jack came and gave me the dagger because I was like, oh, I wish I had something to go and hit him with.
I just love the idea running up to me with your fists and just like beating the shit out of me.
I would if I wouldn't have actually died. I probably would. But yeah, so what I remember from the battle is I know we did a lot of running. We were very cardio heavy because we were going from here to there, from the woods to through the gate, over the bridge. Like we were posted around a lot. The dread shields were, like I said, we were one of the first through the gate. Like we were just to be there to hold them off. Really, I think was our objective. Just be battering rams.
Yeah.
I think.
It's the same for me, really. It was just a bit of a blur, like, because there's so much going on. It's hot. We were in like 20 different places at one point. We never really held much ground for more.
Do you remember
than
what the objectives
5 or
were?
10 minutes. No.
Did you bother to
we let
learn the
Rook worry
objectives?
about that kind of
They
thing.
did say them, but I can't remember. I do remember getting shouted at by a Dornish general.
Dawn wasn't there. Was
Oh.
it High Guard, perhaps?
I don't know who it was. Anyway, but I
Some
remember
big motherfucker.
yeah, like 7'3" dude. I remember getting shouted at by them because there was someone on the floor bleeding out, and I was like, "Do you need help?" And they were like, "Well, yeah, help would be great." And I was like, "Do I help you?" And they were like, I don't know. Do you want to help me?" I was like, "Are you Imperial?" And they were like, "What?" And then this general was
That
just
is
like,
like straight up a response, which delivers an execution. Like, I was like, execute.
this Dornish general was, whoever the general was like, "If you're not sure, just fucking move on and get through it." I was like, "Okay." I just went.
Someone said, I remember once I think it was my first E1. There was an orc bleeding out the floor. I looked down and went, "Are you Imperial?" And they went, yeah. And I went, "Fuck off," and just ran.
But yeah, to be honest, I feel like I want to message the chat and be like,
Guys, what happened?
What happened in the battle?
I've only got two things that kind of stick out. One was obviously injuring my leg because I felt my
yeah.
leg for the whole weekend. I was running and there was just a little dip of ground, maybe not more than a foot. But because my body hadn't compensated for that drop, my whole weight went down into that one leg, and I pulled my glute and my hamstring and my what's it called, a quad, and I was limping around a bit for the rest of the week.
Late
It's not
20s,
easy.
early 30s is horrible, isn't it? Everything's slowly
Yeah,
starting to fall
exactly.
apart.
Well, I hadn't limbered up. I should have stretched. That's what it
We're the
was.
same age. What are you even on about?
That's what I mean. Late 20. What do you mean?
He's addressing us as a
I'm
group
addressing
and
us as a
including him
group.
as well.
I'm fit as a fiddle.
Okay, good.
Okay, good
for you. Fucking hell.
The rest of them are dying over
I'm
here.
mostly fine, but I was saying this. It was like Hoist of Colours last year. I remember once there was like a little bit of a path and there was bush on either side, and I was in one bush, I had to get to the other, and I jumped across and like landed in something I've done before, like land on like to roll away and keep running, and I did it, and I went, ooh, my knee did not like that. What's that about? And then like for like 2 weeks, it wasn't right. I was like, I am not made of rubber like I used to be.
I can't talk. After E3 last year, I ended up with that tendonitis for 6 weeks. Like, Morgan, can you pick me up from work and drive me to the hospital, please?
Oh, God,
I
yeah, I
can't
remember
walk.
And I didn't even fight, but I had 2 injuries this weekend where I pulled a muscle in my arm trying to pack the tent away, and I've got a bruise on my hand from where I clapped too hard.
So, listeners,
Oh wow.
Lost and Tops, not invincible.
No.
We're very, very.
It was the battle from my perspective was when we got through was hot. First and foremost, it was a hot time. But then when we were running through, I respawned quite a few times. I went back to the respawn point. The first time, I just got like it was like Navarre appeared from absolutely fucking nowhere, and I turned around and there was 4 dead orcs, me, and then Navarre just kind of came up to me and went, "Right, safety reasons, you're dead. Get out." He was like, "Let's be honest, you're not surviving this." Off he popped. I was like, "Valid," and walked through, and then kind of had a little bit of a break because like, right, monsters who have died, gather here and we'll move you all as one lot. And 20 minutes of sitting later, I was like, there was still just the 3 of us. I was like, I'm going back to respawn because I am very bored. I went back, pushed back through.
Are you like me? Respawn every opportunity you
Yeah,
can.
I'm there to fight, you know. Went back through and then kind of had a few. There was the moment, I think, where you saw me where I was surrounded. Did you see this where I was surrounded, got knocked down, used Unstoppable to kind of roar back up again, and then just absolutely wailed on again?
Yeah.
As
Was
I
that
knew
just
it was
before
gonna
you got
happen.
executed?
And then I got executed, yeah.
Because I really wanted to be the one to execute you, and I saw you laying there, and knew it was obviously you because you had your sun shield on your chest, and I was like, I'm going for him, like limping towards you, and then this guy got in front of me. I mean, fair enough, he's just doing his thing, and executed you, and I was like, fuck, I wanted that kill.
Should have just done it anyway. What was the second highlight? You were gonna say?
Oh well, there was that of Morgan's execution, which I kind of missed. But there was a point where I was running and I saw Rook fighting someone, and I charged in. I was like, "Oh, I'll help Rook," and it was just like a one-on-one. So I ran in, swung a couple times. I may have cleaved. I don't quite remember. And this guy went down, and Rook just goes, "Otis, he was mine. What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm sorry."
Fucking kill steal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just remembered there was a point like quite early on in the battle as well. So, you know, as you come out on the field, obviously it branches round to the woods on the left, but then there's like that little bit of like trees kind of like in the middle opposite where the bridge is. So there were some brass coasts fighting there. So obviously like us Dreadshields, like, well, I think it was like me, Rook, and I think someone else had seen this. So we'd gone around the back and went to get, who were we fighting?
Yeah, we were the
Yeah, we were the Yeoman.
I get confused between Druj and Jotun. I don't know.
Literally, you are that. I do not know who I am. I do not what the objective is. All I know is I need to kill.
Yeah, I get confused between the Druj and the Jotun. I don't know what the difference is. We went round and flanked and got the Jotun from behind, and then the Brass Coast started getting us. We were like, whoa, what are you doing? We're on the same team. We're Navarre. And they were like, we do, get in the way. We were like, we were helping you. You're getting surrounded. What do you mean?
You know what I can't wait for? To see how confused Chloe is going to get now that we're at war with the Grendel as well.
What?
Are the Grendel back?
Yeah, we're not at war with them yet,
What's Grendel?
but we have told them to get. They brought their treaty forward.
What's Grendel?
Oh, my
they're-
god! Do we not listen to our barbarian
We did a whole
series?
episode on Grendel.
No.
Really not a Larps and Tabs fan.
I only listen to Larps
They're
when I'm in
they're
it.
the fabulous orcs. They wear pink.
Actually, not even there.
And they have a
Purple.
purple. They have a war rhino.
Land
Oh,
sharks.
the War Rhino.
Land shark.
War rhino is
Oh.
a thul.
Okay, land shark, sorry.
Oh, because you've mentioned that before. Oh, okay.
I want to see one.
Oh, well, lucky for me, there is a podcast that explains all this.
Yeah. Yeah, so the
research.
Grendel basically came with their treaty, and it was like, we want one territory. We want every single territory that borders the Bay of Katazar, and we want something else as well. To which the Empire just went, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah.
So when the treaty expires, we're probably going to be back at war with the Grendel.
Because doesn't Savos, the Leaguish town, that borders the bay, doesn't it?
I don't
Possibly.
know.
Nietzsche doesn't know his geography. He just wanders.
Nietzsche knows his money and
I
how
found
to
out
gone.
recently that other nations call the Empire the Katazari Empire. Because we sit on the Bay of Katazar, so we're known as the Katazari Empire. Because I always thought it'd be a bit weird for other people to refer to us as the Empire, given there's more than one. But then the Katazari Empire makes quite sense, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, fuck. So yeah, you've got to remember 3 barbarians now. But yes, you were fighting the Jotun.
There was just a load of people in very narrow ways, and there was a point where the Dreadshields kind of got split up. So I was just going around screaming, trying to round all the Dreadshields up at one point. I don't really know. I just remember fighting.
Weren't our
I just-
objectives, we had to get a banner or something? I'm pretty sure someone screamed at me, I want that banner at some point. And I
Oh,
ran.
yeah.
You had to retrieve a banner.
Yeah, there was
Okay,
like
yeah.
3 banners. There was a point where all 3 banners were like right in front of us, and we were like, oh, we could just easily get them, and then we just
So
didn't.
you had to retrieve, I remember now, you had to retrieve banners from us. Now, this is perhaps my limited recollection, but I think you didn't get any of them.
No.
And we actually stole the banner from you. So
wasn't our banner.
It was a very important
it
banner.
was a very important banner that was releasing slaves, and then we got it.
We did execute a bird person, though. I'm not
herald?
sure if
A
that...
Hayag Herald.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm not sure if that was a main objective.
It wasn't an objective. I
But
think
it was a
just
great
fun.
success for the Dreadshields.
Because Oily or Murdoch.
Disappeared for like... it was AFK for 80% of the battle, and then right at the end, we're like, Murdoch's captured a herald. We're like,
We were
"Ah."
like, what? It just in true his fashion as well. Like he didn't even do any of the work. Apparently, he just saw them on the ground. I went up to them. and were like, "Are you dead?" And they were like, "No, but I'm unconscious." And he was like, "Oh, sweet. Okay, I'm gonna pick you up and take you."
Incredible.
I was like, that's so funny. And then yeah, he got to execute him
in front of all the Dreadshields, we were all
and
like... stood
loads of
around.
Navarre like in front of the Sentinel Gate, still on the
Yeah.
battlefield. It was pretty freaking awesome.
Murdoch the Herald Killer.
And now
Shout
we-
out
yeah.
to that guy as well. I can't remember the guy's name, but I think his character's name is like Death Talon or something like that, because he was our skirmish leader for the Sunday when we were monstering. And we were like, "Oh, hey, we recognise you." Oh, no way. And it was a weird little crossover, but his roleplay was sensational.
Yeah.
Like it was really fucking good.
That execution was great. And his talon now hangs from the Dreadshield banner as like a war trinket. Trophy. That's the one. A war trinket.
Am I
My
wrong in
trinkets.
thinking that you might have tried to stab Oily by mistake when he was killing the Herald?
Oh god! So the way Oily was holding this guy, you know, like sometimes on those videos where you've got like a dog's head, and then but it's their human's arms feeding them, and it makes it look like the dog's eating at the table.
I have seen these memes.
So he was kind of getting executed in this kind of way. So when Murdoch turned to me and asked for a knife, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll just give you my sword, whatever." But then the hand that came up to grab it looked like it belonged to the bird person, the Herald. So I went, "Not for you." And then I realised it was Murdoch's hand. So he literally said, "Has anybody got a sword?" I said, "Yeah, here you go."
but not for you. Stabs Murdoch.
I was like, fuck, you're kind of ruining a moment here. I was like, oh shit. He didn't say that, but that's the impression I got.
You fucked it.
Yeah.
One thing to do, Alex.
I know.
That was pretty much. I mean, I'm sure later tonight I'll remember it and be like, "Oh damn, should have said that." But the battle was. It was just really hot. The skirmish was. I remember more about the skirmish later on that night, but obviously we'll get to that in a bit. But I don't really remember too much from the battle.
Yeah, same.
I think my favorite thing from Monstering. So again, I think it was a pretty good success for the Jotun. But I think one of my favorite moments was in classic Jotun style. The Imperials asked for a retreat. They said they were going to leave and said, "Jotun, don't attack us." So they did. And then in classic Imperial style, a Winter Marker stepped forward to one of the Yugara. Our Yugara was bleeding out on the floor and executed him. And I was actually stood there. We were stood there. And there's another guy, March's friend of ours, was stood there. Who was playing a Yugara. And as they came forward and executed, we all went, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like 20 Jotun ran at the line, like full pelt as this kind of Winter Market started into the background. They're like, whoa, slow down. We're retreating. It's we don't fucking care. We want his fucking head. And they were we weren't attacking anyone. We were like, "Bring him here now and we will bring it." And the general came, the Jotun general came to tell us off. And we were like, they broke the fucking treaty. It was just really funny because like the Imperials had grabbed this guy who'd done the execute. Like, "We will deal with him when we get back home." It was like, "Swear on your honor." Like there's this really cool like role play moment where we were like, "How fucking dare you?" It was really cool. It was a really cool moment. But it was just really fun to kind of surge forward as like we slapped like a last little bit of action before the end of the battle. That was a really good moment.
Retreats never really go well. I remember when we were retreating now. So they were obviously getting loads of people out. I think they were getting like Brass Coast out first and whatever, and Navarre were one of the last ones to sort of leave, but then they were shouting. So the Dread Shields, we were to hold and to stay whilst everyone was retreating. So one person was saying, "No, you stay and wait until everyone else has retreated." But then we was getting shouted at, like, "What are you doing standing there? We're leaving." We're like,
Yeah.
"Are we staying? Are we going? Like, what are we doing?" So that we were kind of just taking a few steps back every now and then, like, "Are we going?" But then we were like, "No, Dread Shields." And I think we were fighting with another unit. I can't remember.
Did you get to fight with the National Bloc at all?
I'm not sure.
My Liga buddies.
I just remember thinking, what the fuck are we meant to be doing? Are we staying? Are we going? Just tell me what to do. I'm hot. I'm bothered. I'm hungry.
Yeah, sounds like it was a resounding success for the Jotun.
I
I know at one point was really funny. Some Jotun moved towards the fort, and then a bunch of Imperials went in, like stormed the fort and got in. And then one of the Jotun like leaned over to me and went, "We weren't even holding that fort. What's going on?" Like we were just by the fort, and they're like, "We took the fort." And we were like, "We weren't holding the fort. What's going on?"
This is why you listen to your objections.
It was so funny. Like maybe there was an objective to get a fort, but none of us knew about it. So we were just like, "All right, it's cool.
Sick, yeah.
Good for you guys."
I just spent a lot of the battle just running around, being a happy little Helbert happy Yugara.
Yeah.
I got killed in the initial crush. Were you there for when the Imperials pushed through and just hit us like a hammer? We thought we had good formation.
Yeah.
No. I was like, okay, I'm trying to pull that. No, I'm stuck on Mora Yugara now. Oh, guess I'm going down.
Bye.
Bye. It was such like a panic crush. It looked like you Imperials were just steamrolling onto the battlefield from the gate.
It
Yeah.
faltered. It felt from my perspective.
It felted at the woods, I felt.
Yeah.
But that's where it always does. It feels like the Imperials...
But that's interesting though, isn't it? Because it was Navarre. Like Navarre in the woods versus the Jotun is usually lethal because like you're quick. But yeah.
were slow. I did have a lot of fun also seeing my beloved National Bloc kill me. The general, the Reaper General's like, "You see that Yugara there? The one with the shit-eating grin? I want that one.
That's so good.
One of my buddies in the national block, he's like, you there, I want you. You 4 Jotun, you're not taking me on. He knew he could like just lure me in, so I just charged at him, to which he just strike down and then stab. He was like, I knew I could. He was asked in the battle, I was like, I knew I could lure you in.
So good battle.
Yeah.
And then we got the
so-
beautiful
so
smolder
much
from
fun.
Alex as you came off the field.
A huge smile.
Smolder.
The,
As you came off
oh,
the field.
my
That's
new,
such a good shot.
new
Your new
profile
profile picture
picture.
is like,
yeah.
The one where
it
you
was
didn't
so
tell
good.
Chloe.
Yeah, the one you didn't tell me there was a photographer there, so I'm just there like.
there is no time. You see a talk,
yeah.
you pose.
I
Yeah,
think we need a code word. We need a code word.
Yes, no, you just need to
Photographer.
be. You just need to
No.
be talk.
Just snap.
Talk.
Just go snap.
No, because you know what happened. What? And then the picture will be you going,
That's what most of my pictures are. Either that, or I've just got like a really concerned, horrible double chin face. So it's like.
I find in most of your pictures, your body's facing in a different direction than your head. Have you noticed that? Your head's you're like an owl. Your head's always kind of in the opposite direction as your body's facing.
No.
That's because Chloe's an important character. She's the big hoot.
Well, your ambi, it's like a defense technique. You watch 360.
Well, they
degrees.
say in the battles, you're not meant to look at your direct opponent. You look at the person next to you.
So then, yeah, we strolled back from battle.
Yeah.
Not successful. We'd killed the herald, and that was just a massive deal for us. So we were over the moon about that.
I don't really know. Like, the kind of day is a bit sketchy because I remember after battle, we chilled out at the camp for a bit. I think you sold some hot dogs. I think we had a wander around, but there was a point where we were back at the camp and Rook and someone else came to buy a hot dog and was like, hey, we're going on a skirmish at 6 if you want to tag
yeah.
along. You were like, oh, no, I can't because I've bugged me leg up. But then obviously, keen old Bean here was like, yeah, stabby, murder, we'll be there.
I want to call you that, make that your nickname now, the Keen Bean.
Keen Bean.
Kerry, what did you go to whilst we were defeating the Imperials?
I went around the shops with Emma and we got that little music box thing.
Oh, that was so cute.
That was really cute.
That was
She was
really
like, oh, do I buy it? I was like, buy it.
Yeah, that was very cute.
She, oh, Morgan would love it. I was like, yes, Morgan would love it. So buy it.
It was very sweet, and it kind of didn't click when she presented it to me. I was like, "Oh, that's really nice." Her. I just assumed I was paying her back, and I gave her a big hug. I was like, "That's lovely, thank you very much." And she was like, "Yeah, he's very happy with your music box. Do you like him?" Oh, yeah, it's amazing. I'll pay you back after. She goes, "No, it's a gift." I went, "Oh, I didn't realise that."
Well, then, thank you.
But yeah, no, it was really nice. It's like a music box with flowers on top, which is very fucking Tristan. So like, I've got all my like little in character trinkets and jewelry in there now, which is nice to open.
Yeah, we had a little browse around all the things that I want to buy and talked very much about how if only I had lots and lots and lots of money, that would be quite nice. But I don't. And then obviously probably spent time at the boar's head. I just can't really remember very much, especially from like the morning while you guys were off. Then tend to take it quite easy on the morning because there's not as many people around anyway. And I'm waiting around until everyone comes back from the battlefield so that I can sell potions for the next day and stuff. I was very glad that, like, as I said on the Friday, that I knew Dawn wasn't going to be fighting until the Sunday because basically you're the only person I sell potions to at this point because Nietzsche's sorted and you guys don't really ever buy potions off me. So it's just you and Viridian who buy my potions, really. So I had to wait till you guys got back to do that. There was someone at the Boar's Head who was doing basically her take on AI generated imaging, but in LARP version. So it was Cameo generated images, which is her name or their name. And I don't know if this is right at the battle, but I'll talk about it anyway now because I'm talking anyway. But I was going around with them and helping them get commissions. I took them to go see Emma and they did a lovely drawing for her. But basically you just give her a prompt and pay her. I think at first she said a crown, but then she's upped the price because everyone was telling her to. And she'll draw and paint that like a generated image.
Yeah, it
and
was
some
always
of them
what they
were
called
quite
again.
Cameo generated images.
Yeah, was it? Yeah.
And I believe she she sent me a live stream when she was doing one of them for one of the jackdaws actually. So I don't know if I think she live streams every Wednesday. Actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
She's drawing one for Esty, isn't she?
She's done one for Esty.
Oh, is it finished?
Yeah, it's finished.
Yeah.
I saw it
It's-
while it was in the works. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very funny.
Nice.
So, yeah, so I hung out with her for a bit and she was doing some painting and drawing, and as I say, I was following around because I just wanted to see the reaction to some of the people. The first one she gave out was someone wanted their friend drawn as a potato, And so I went to Wintermark to deliver that, and that was received very well. And then I think they ordered someone else as a different vegetable or something like that. And yeah, all in good fun. What did you guys do as soon as you came out of battle then?
I have a goal this event, right? I think I mentioned this. I need to have Challenge the Iron Duke cast on me. And to have that cast on me, I need 12 mana. And to buy mana, I need money. So my event a big portion of my Saturday was wandering around Anvil selling flowers. So I was selling small flowers for 5 rings, big flowers for 10 rings, and shiny flowers for 15 rings. And I was wandering around Dawn, and most of the time I was like, hey, I'm selling flowers, do you want anything? And they're like, yeah, I don't know what colour yet, where do you camp? And I was telling them kind of where I was. Went around, sold a few here and there, and it was kind of like taking me a while to get going. I was like, oh, it's going to take me ages, because it's like a mana crystal roughly goes for, an amount. I shouldn't really say the amount it goes for, but I needed to sell multiple flowers to get 1 crystal. And it took me a while to sell 1. I was like, this is going to take me ages. So I went around Dawn, sold a few, went around Wide Anvil, and basically no one was looking for them outside of Dawn. Then I saw some Dawnish people on the way, had a little sit down, sold flowers. And then eventually people started just coming to me at camp. Like, it was like, hey, you still selling? And I kind of, once I sold enough flowers to get the mana crystals, like, cool, I'm done. I put my flowers down. But then for the rest of the day, people just kept going, you buying flowers? You selling flowers? I hear you selling flowers. You selling some flowers? And was just selling them everywhere. It was great.
Has Tristan managed to buy himself out of his legendary debt from flower sales?
No, not yet. Might have to sell some more flowers next event. I've got myself into another debt as well now.
Fuck's sake.
Find out in character.
Prosperity everywhere.
It's only prosperity if you pay. But yeah, so I spent a lot of time selling flowers. Basically, was a big portion of.
Who will buy my sweet red roses?
What was most popular? So not many people bought the shiny ones because I think it's because they're a bit more expensive. But I noticed that acted a bit like, you know, when you go to cafes and they have like a larger coffee for like a bit more money and a small coffee.
So you think you're saving money by going for the medium one?
I think I convinced more people to buy the more expensive flowers because, well, it's not the most expensive. I don't want to get the cheapest, so I'll go for the middle one.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of accidental market
looks
tactics.
a bit magical as well. Like you want something that looks a bit more realistic.
But some houses have as I found out, have gold in their flower code as well as mine.
I was just trying to find something, one of the wires for the microphones under the couch. And I pulled out something. I was like, oh, that's not a wire, that's a rose. Thank you, Tristan.
I leave flowers everywhere I go. Someone came to buy a red flower from me from the league, a bishop prince.
Ew.
And they were like, how much is a red rose? I said 5 rings. And they just went, I'm not paying you 5 rings. And was like, will 2 crowns do? And I was like, I mean, they're only 5 rings. Oh, 4 crowns? I went, so they paid 4 crowns for 1 5-ring flower.
Which you promptly gave to me for a Scots mead.
Yeah, I did actually think that, yeah. And then they came back later. They gave me another 2 crowns for a red rose. I was like, this person,
nice.
This person's got a lot of fucking money.
That's true league, just
Yeah,
making it rain.
They were very much like, I'm not paying 5 rings to give someone a gift. And they gave me like a handful of crowns. I was like, fucking hell. But yeah, I did a good trade. I swapped a flower for an issue of The Moon, which is a March magazine.
Is it a smutty one?
No, it's not smutty, but it is a perfectly legitimate and accurate and well-written paper. And I thoroughly recommend everybody reads it.
Okay.
Definitely not a tabloid. Definitely accurate. It's a very good newspaper.
Sounds very educational then.
It
informative.
absolutely was. There's some very interesting information in there.
Is it sarcasm?
Yes.
Yes.
Why? What is it?
It's tabloid.
Find out and play. Go buy a copy of The Moon.
It's not quite as propaganda as Nietzsche's paperwork that gets dished out. You know, there's more posters for the jackdaws on Navari trees than there are leaves. Someone went round and there was this awful moment where Nietzsche he left some at where
Hilarious.
where I sell my sausages, and he'd left it on the side, and and then he'd left, and within a few minutes I'd got sausage grease all over his posters, his jackdaw propaganda. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, I'm not leaving that there, it looks gross. So I just threw it on the fire, but it's like on the top. So it was very clearly just on the fire. The fire was barely going at this point. Nietzsche comes about 5 minutes later and he just looks at him and says, are those my posters, you bastard? Because obviously you'd just given me them, and then I'd just been like, well, they're getting burnt straight away.
It was a perfect icy moment. Loved it.
You've seen, well, you guys are there when I found one of Nietzsche's posters on my table. I was just like, this fucking guy. And having to get at E2, and I ripped up one, threw it away, and then looked at the next one. I was like, and this looks interesting. It was like an advert for your plays. I was like,
Yeah.
Actually, this one looks quite good.
Because the Jackdaws is going so quickly and we have so many fingers and pies now, every notice board is like 4 Jackdaw pictures for various different service we provide.
So funny. I'm such a fan.
What
yeah.
if we could get like a, well, we probably never could do this with how full our van gets, but just a giant Jackdaw billboard to have over the camp?
God. Maybe, yeah, we need to get a massive sticker on the side of the van, never mind Larps and Tarps. Just like the Jolly Jackdaws sign it today.
I like that. Jolly Jackdaws, massive letters like Laps and Tarps, like small print at the bottom.
Sponsored by Larps and Tarps.
Yeah.
You know, like that giant billboard with Howard Hamlin from Better Call Saul on. It's just Nietzsche.
But yeah, selling flowers, had a good time. What else did I do? Oh, I had a ritual cast on me by Viridian and his coven, which was as
Oh, yeah. I remember.
fucking normal as possible. Spent the entire weekend, Tristan, are you okay? Tristan, are you okay? Because I had blood smeared on my face as someone pretended to scratch my eyes out.
Speaking of Viridian, when I went to go sell him his potions, that got a bit chaotic as well.
Why?
If you remember, because the wind was so bad. He was like holding out some herbs. To, like,
Oh,
pass
God,
to me,
yeah. Jesus.
And the pole from the awning just flew right into his eye, basically. And he's like still holding up these herbs to pass them to me. And I'm like taking them off him. Like, I feel weird taking this off you where you're so clearly visibly in pain. But he was all right. But we were like, do you need to go and see like an actual like medic? And he's like, is it bleeding? I'm like, no. He's like, it's all right then. But oh God, that was a bit like, yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you for the money. But are you okay?
It was like, oh, that was pretty fucked.
And then while I was there, Twig was also there, so they paid for a potion, and I had to go and brew it. Got to the God tent and realised I didn't actually have the right ingredients for that potion after I'd made Viridian stuff and your stuff. But then I knew that there was a new player that I'd been hanging out with, and she was at Anvil Hospital, and she'd already got a potion because she'd made like a couple of random ones. And I was like, all right, she's got the same one. So I ran to Anvil Hospital and I bought it off her for like just a bit less than Twig had given to me. And then I ran to your camp to find Twig, only to find out that Twig was actually at the Sentinel Gate, which is right next to the hospital. And then proceeded to keep going out and looking for them all fucking day. I kept sitting down in the Boar's Head tent.
I kept seeing you actually be like, have you seen Twig? Have you seen Twig? Have you seen Twig?
I felt bad because they'd given me the money and I hadn't given them the potion, where I had the opposite issue with one of your Jackdaws, actually, who I bumped into on my way to the God tent for Twig. And while I was like selling them a potion, someone else had been like, that's the person with the dice game. And I was like, yes, that's me. And then I'd agreed to make them a potion, and then managed to get it to them but not get the money straight away. But yeah, all weekend or all Saturday even, I just kept sitting down either with you guys at your Agra's tent or in the Boar's Head, like sitting on the grass in the shade and thinking, it's too hot to go and do anything, but then keep going, but I need to go and see if this. And I just kept walking out into the story and then getting a few steps down and just being like, why the am I leaving the shade? Why do I keep doing this? But I can't just sit down all day. Like, I wish I could.
The sun was crazy.
It was.
As soon as you get into the woods, though, it drops like a good 5-10 degrees. Well, maybe not that much, but it cools down
I
a
didn't
hell
think
of a
it was
lot
that.
when you're in the Navarra woods.
Yeah.
I was wearing a fair amount of layers. I did all right on the Saturday. Sunday was horrible. Saturday was hot, but I managed to not have to take any layers off. I did all right. But the heat was just... We can't have this episode without saying how fucking horrendous the heat was.
It was unbearable.
It was crazy. I remember Emma said like she was under the awning outside our tent, and she said, I think she went to the toilet and came back and she went, that's it, I'm done for the day. Like, I can't do any more than that.
And it was the surface temperature of the sun.
Oh, it was fucked.
And I decided to cook in that weather, so I was always next to on
Yeah,
wood,
next to the fire.
fire. Which
Yeah,
was-
when I
No
was
wonder
cooking-
you felt like going into Navarre was like 10 degrees cooler
Yeah.
because you weren't sat next to a fire.
yeah, true.
It
yeah.
sounds like you guys at the hottest part of the day decided to do some nice, simple, relaxing points.
Yeah, what was Nick and
Yeah.
Van Dyer, Count of Vagabonds?
Well,
Well,
like
yeah,
Prince
a
of the
meeting,
Jolly
wasn't
Jackdaw.
they?
Well, my dear Modesto Modesto got us an employment on a skirmish with our current employers, Cordraco, at 2:00 till. Well, the meeting goes at 2:00, so we all got clanked up so we can go for a pre-battle meeting. The skirmish wasn't till 3, so at the hottest part of the day when the sun is high in the sky, there's me in my black gambeson, black and red trousers, black boots,
We saw you.
heavy clanky armour. I even
Looks-
put my brig arms on as well.
Unbearable.
And my hat.
Yeah, we saw you. You were walking past the forge, like that little corner. You were walking there towards like the main path into like Dawn and Wintermark. You were cutting across that way, like heading towards like the toilets and whatever. And we saw you from our tent at the top of the hill. We were like,
How the
What
fuck
a
is it?
madman.
You know those heat waves that you see in movies or like on
Yeah.
the top of roads? There was those, but just coming off you as you were marching off.
I was like, we were just like, what an absolute madman. Like, what is he doing? Like, you must have been baking.
Oh yeah, my face was probably more liquid than flesh, but you've got to do it though. You got to have your heavy. You paid for heavy. You're gonna wear heavy. I really
This
should.
is why you don't pay for heavy in the first place.
I've got this weird pride thing about Clank versus Polly. It's so stupid, but I like the authentic feel.
I don't think it's a stupid pride thing. I like, for me, again, I don't really care other people wearing it, but when I want to put it on, I want to feel like it helps with my immersion.
Yeah.
So like I'm
That's
girding
fair.
for battle. And again, for accessibility reasons and all sorts, you can't do it. But when you gird for battle, you feel
It's
ready to
a
go.
really small detail that really brings me into the immersion. It's just hearing me clanking along in metal.
Yeah.
Like you would be, and hearing my troops all in their metal clanking along. So yeah, we went up to Cordraco to do a skirmish preparation. They didn't seem to be too ready, so it's just us all in black under this tarp, just like, we're dying here.
Like that scene from the
Please.
SpongeBob movie when Patrick and SpongeBob have been captured by the
The scuba diver.
Yeah, they're just like shriveled up.
I'm the Goofy Goober, yeah. Yeah. But whilst we were waiting for the skirmish, we did have Big Brain Modesto, who'd been given a whistle by one of our new players, Ned. He was going through our military tactics, so we now have a system. One blow.
Oh, he's
on-
got a document, ladies and gentlemen. He's reading a piece of paper.
He
One.
made notes.
Oh, you nerd.
One blow on the whistle means retreat. 2 blows on the whistle, means charge. And 3 blows on the whistle means Modesto's down. Come and help me, you fucks.
Oh, dear.
So yeah, that was quite fun. But eventually, after waiting the hour, getting a little plan together, we march out together with Cordraco for the skirmish. Now, Anvil does seem to be getting a lot better with skirmish numbers, getting the militia there. But I will have to say, I was the last one by the skin of my teeth to get through that gate. Like, we'd been employed to be there. The Cordraco were running the session, and I was the very last one through, so it still does seem like skirmishes were oversubscribed.
Oh, so they're definitely oversubscribed, I think, but there's only so much they can do. But
Yeah, you can't keep people from trying to get in.
I do think the new system of it's a tough one, right? Because it's like if you're a new place, first time at Anvil, you don't know what you're doing, so it's hard to get onto a skirmish. But I think after you like your second or third event, you're like, right, I can look at the Winds of War.
Yep.
I can see in advance which skirmishes there are, and I say this: if you're going to go on a skirmish, find one that your character cares about.
Oh yeah,
Look for that, like for whose name, because it'll be assigned to someone, and go speak to that person. I will say something that does piss me off a little bit that I've been hearing is people will go to the person in charge of a skirmish at like 6:05 at time in and be like, hey, I'd like to help with the skirmish, and they go, oh, we've already covered it. So you've organised it all off field.
yeah.
Like that's shitty. Like you should let people have time to organise a skirmish in the field.
Give people a chance to get onto it.
I don't think like organising stuff out of Anvil is shitty. I don't think you should be doing that. But I think as in general, quite enjoyed being like, oh, this skirmish is something I'd be interested in. I'll go speak to that person, find that person. Hi, I want to be on this skirmish. Is there room? Yes. And then you get on it.
Yeah, it's a good bit of role play.
Yeah.
A couple of my jackdaws print off the Winds of War and we discuss it at the meetings at time in which one we want to do. Someone goes to get signed on. But yeah, we all march through the gate. I can't remember exactly what it was. Dawn wanted to go and talk to some Herald. There was a load of Jotun. I was hyped for combat. This was the first skirmish I've done in ages. I thought, with Dawn, it's going to be a proper good fight. You fuckers. I don't know
Those
who
are
you
you
are.
fuckers, they're your employers.
No. You fuckers of Dawn. Don't know who you think you are. You fucking negotiated your way out of it. You worked out there's something to do other than fucking charge. In a way, it was the perfect skirmishers mercenaries because we got paid to stand there and do jack shit.
Fucking hell. I mean, that is odd, but cool.
I was just there scratching my head. It's like, we're fighting with Dawn, right?
This is Dawn. Yeah, but it was the guy that was leading it was a Yofo, wasn't it?
Possibly.
You-
I didn't really know what's going on. I couldn't hear like the conversation.
If it's a skirmish, I know. Basically, some Yo folk were coming back to Dawn through Karaman, I think, and some Jotun were going to attack them, so they had to go defend them. It usually would have been done because it was to do with Summer Heralds. It would have been the I might be butchering this, the Night Protector of Summer, but I think the position of Night Protector of Summer is currently vacant, so it fell on Guy of Wise Guys to do it. I think
It was quite cool to see. We got commendated for our restraint of just standing there. So, yay, medals all round, we're heroes and all that. We got paid our 5 rings, which the jackdaws got
Your
to keep.
obsession with medals is so funny. You're like, yeah, we got a medal.
I blame Oily. The hoisters have changed me as a person. But yeah, that was quite fun. A little bit of skirmish. I said I'd do some, and apparently they're a lot less deadly than I thought they would be. And after that, I had to go and prep for my starring debut as a theatre star.
Oh yes, you were the Jolly Jackdaws did a little performance, didn't they?
And I actually paid for this one. Didn't pay for the last Jackdaw play, but then I felt bad, so I was like, okay, I'll actually give you some money.
I mean, it was fantastic. However, we couldn't see a lot of it because
Yeah,
we were sat
right
behind Talus.
Talus, and Talus is taller than us.
I was
At least
sat behind
taller than me
Murdoch's
anyway.
hat.
Yeah.
I got the outskirts of the play. That's about it.
Yeah.
We saw you. That was the main thing, so don't worry.
I won't spoil it, but the name of the play is The Viper's Hidden Virtue, written by the Harlequin. It was a lot of fun to be in. I was so happy, I just said, Will, Martin, can I go and advertise this a bit? We need to get some more bums on seats. Walk out the tent. Who's passing the store but my beautiful friend, Talus Ashbourne? I was like, Talus, my friend, do you want to see some Leaguish culture? And he was like, fabulous, darling. How could I miss it? And I had so much fun just bantering with him over the stage, bonding back over our time together in the Brock and saving his 14-inch boy.
It's funny.
The beautiful Ithan.
Someone, for some reason, had given me one of those little vials of bubbles, not long before going in. So I sat
I think that was
behind
probably
Talus.
Talus.
No, it wasn't,
no.
because
Oh, it
I sat
wasn't.
behind him and I started blowing bubbles and waiting for him to notice. And he was like, yes. And then he got out his own little vial of bubbles.
Yeah, it was the Pathfinders. One of the Pathfinders' children kept delivering them over to us.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah,
"Here's
because
some
you
bubbles."
passed it over to
It
me.
were the
then, I
bubbles
think,
that they
yeah.
were meant to be selling, but they just kept giving to us. We were like, thank you.
So there were bubbles everywhere. It was great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing a bit of game that wasn't just meetings or battles. I thought, this
Yeah.
time I'm going to do something a bit different, ham it up. And boy, I think I had a butcher's shop worth of ham for what I put on that performance.
Oh, definitely.
I love playing the ghost of a
It was.
league.
It was a great performance.
It was kind of
Yeah.
like the story of this Viper, the princess or maiden has to learn to trust it, and it's like a Christmas Carol, a series of different characters throughout Empire culture come to talk to this maiden. A lot of fun. If we put it on again, please do come and see it because
Yeah.
it was a hell of a good time.
It was my first
Yeah.
and only Anvil performance, theatre performance, and it was well worth it.
What
Yeah.
time was it at?
5 o'clock, I believe.
Yeah.
5:30. It was 5:30 because I remember I was short on time because you were
You were
like,
going
oh,
to a skirmish,
yeah,
weren't
because
you?
my skirmish was
Yeah.
at 6, and you were like, because I said, well, how long is it going to be? And you were like, oh, only about 10-15 minutes. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I
Yeah,
should
so
have
we were
enough
constantly
time.
looking at
Yeah,
the
I kept
time.
checking my time because I was like, I need to go get armored up.
Yeah.
I need to go. But,
well,
so it was 5:30, I think.
One bit that did amuse me, I said because there was part of a witch, they could use my fancy Nietzsche cloak as a prop, and just
Yeah.
seeing them pass it over. Oh, this is heavier than it looks. Like we're just gonna keep this on the ground.
It is a lot of fabric.
It's a hefty cloak.
It weighs a lot. Why do you think I'm so short and stocky? Everything I wear is just
He's
weight
actually
down.
about 1 foot taller than you'll see him on field. It's just, it's just that
Just
way.
the cloak compresses him.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Did you guys get up to much else that evening? Oh well, your
Your
skirmish.
skirmish, yeah.
Yeah. So after we watched your starring debut,
I will be taking the stage again.
I hope so.
good.
I hope so. Like, I'll definitely come.
I
to
might
that
not
if I'm
pay for the next one though.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll,
you. I did get paid for it.
I'm
so I was
joking,
happy.
did you?
Yeah.
How much did you get paid for it?
£1.50.
That's not bad
We should start
for a
performing.
15-minute play. Yeah. Let's do a Navari theatre troupe.
Oh,
Well, if it's a crown of hot dog. And I
Oh,
don't
right,
have-
sorry.
I don't have to remember a script for a crown of hot dog.
That's true.
Other than hot dog for a crown.
oh yeah, that's fair enough.
Mm.
Skirmish, yeah. So,
Do you remember this one, or have you forgotten it since you've claimed to remember this one?
yeah. So I remember we were going in there. I don't know what the objectives were. I don't know what was going on. I just knew what we had to do. We were going in to flank. We were going as a surprise attack. So we got in there, we went straight into the woods, and we literally just curled really far right and round, and we were going through the trees, through the long grass and stuff, and we genuinely came out as a surprise. I think maybe we were fighting Druge. I don't know. Whoever we were fighting, I don't know.
You were fighting enemies.
Yeah,
Orcs.
the bad
Chloe,
people.
you were fighting the academy. You just murdered all those children.
Well, it's
God,
funny you
no.
should say that.
Oh God, yeah, because that my new friend who was her first time at Anvil, the one who I'd taken to see the Coctopus the night before, we'd been hanging around that day, and as I said, she'd gone to the hospital. She's the one I bought the potion off of. And when she come back from the hospital, she informed me that her first ever patient, because obviously she'd watched a few people and sort of assisted on some, but her first ever patient, just her, was a child from the academy who unfortunately died in character. So her first ever patient was a child who died. And she had to get debriefed after that. She was absolutely fine and everything.
I think it's crazy that it is canonical.
I didn't think that
the
was
Imperial
possible.
citizen sends children to die.
Yes.
That is
yeah.
crazy.
But
to
no,
me.
apparently it's really, really rare that it happen. And apparently the kid, OC, absolutely fucking loved it. All of his friends came over and they were saying, oh, what an honourable way to go and all that sort of thing. And
Love that.
Anyway, so because a child had died, then you had a reputation of some kind that somehow
Yeah.
related to
Oh,
that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll get onto that. So now we know the bit of the backstory towards that. Anyway, so I was on the skirmish, and I'm going to point out, because it's going to get said by one of the Dreadshields, I absolutely stacked it. I tripped while I was running in the woods, and I think only one person saw it, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But I full on stacked it, so I'm not the perfect fighter, everyone.
You get
I do
that
make
when
mistakes.
your head's facing one direction and your body's facing the other way. It's bound to happen.
I wondered why the world was going away and not coming towards me. Anyway, so yeah, we were coming out, and when we come out, whoever we was fighting, they literally went, "Oh fuck," because they hadn't seen us coming, and we came out as a proper surprise. It was fantastic, and we just absolutely destroyed them. It was so funny. And then there was a point where we kind of killed the little bit that we found, then we moved on, and then there's that little fort in the side of the woods, and there was some, I'm just going to say Druge. It's probably wrong. I'm just going to say Druge because it's easier for me.
You should just say it with confidence and then no one will question you. You were the only one there.
Yeah, everyone else has got it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm right. Anyway, so, and there were some Druge in this little fort that we went to kill, and one of them was on the floor bleeding out, and I saw one of the Dreadshields execute someone. I was like, oh wait, fuck, are we executing? And they were like, yeah, do it, we are. I was like, oh, sick. So I went up to this one that was on the floor, and the Druge was like, wait, no, I have information, I can give you stuff. And I was like, I don't give a fuck, and just straight up executed them.
Fuck's sake.
And
You cold ass motherfucker.
and in hindsight, I should have looted them or listened to what they said before I killed them, because they might have had something interesting. But in that time, it was just Murderous Neve was like stab, 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 kill, kill, kill. I can't remember who I was talking to on the battlefield about it, because there was one of the Dreadshields next to me. I can't remember who. And they were like, well, that was cold. And I was like, yeah, I was worried they were going to tell me that they had a wife and kids, and I was just going to care even less.
Oh my
And then-
god!
Oh, Chloe, no.
it was just going to make me want to kill them more. So I just saved myself. I saved them the heartache or whatever it was.
Do we need to put Neve
So-
down before the Empire gets destroyed?
Neve will destroy the empire.
Not fucking fixing Navarre's reputation right there.
So no. So there was that, and then we just fought whatever, and it was really great. It was really successful. We came back, and it was hilarious. And then I came to the tent, expecting to see you, Alex, and you, Kerry, and neither of you were there at the tent. I was like, oh, okay, just come home, a warrior from war, by myself to an empty tent. All right, fine. So I just passed out in the shade for a bit, took my chain off and took all my armor and everything else off. And I was like, I'm so sticky and sweaty, wondering where you guys were. Then you guys wandered up because I was going to wind you up when I came in, but I still managed to wind you up because you were doing archery. You came up to the tent and you were like, oh, so how was the skirmish? And I just looked you dead in the eye and was like, well, guess who's got to go to God? And both your faces.
Oh my God.
Both your faces dropped.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
was like,
sorry for believing you.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
shit.
both your faces dropped. And I was like, nah, just kidding. It's not me.
Archery was
So-
heaps of fun though.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I like how it was like, oh, I can't fight with the dread shields. I'm injured. I'm sorry. I can't do the skirmish. But archery, yeah, that sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
but they've set up an archery range in the league now,
Yeah.
so that if you don't have the archery skill, you can go and you can do a bit of target practice, and it's not that expensive, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, and there's
It
a really
looked
lovely,
it.
helpful guy that runs it as well.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
catch
cool.
his name, but really cool.
But yeah, so after the skirmish, we went to the Dreadshields camp because I was going to go back with them after the skirmish, but I was like, no, I need to take all my chain and everything off. So collected you, went to the Dreadshields camp to walk in on a live smut reading. And there was James, who plays Lice, was just sat there topless, majestically reading this smut. Fantastic. I mean, what a sight it was.
Yeah, it was
then-
so funny.
Rook was doing the sound effects in the background, so it was a full immersion. It was ridiculous. I mean, boobs were referred to as hills at one point. It was pretty damn ridiculous.
I really wish I was there. It sounds like
It
I was
so-
cry laughing.
it was
If
so
next
funny.
next time, please, if you know in advance, let me know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, we just rocked up and
I just have
smut
to
was
rock
happening.
up from time to time, won't I?
Yeah. But so that was hilarious. That was one of the highlights. And then they were like, bar crawl? I was like, bar crawl.
Hey.
So we started off, we went to Wintermark first and then kind of
Loop
made a
around.
sweep around. But yeah, so going back to your dead child story.
Back to the child murder.
Yeah, so this is where it all makes sense, ladies and gents. We were talking about the skirmish and everything, and I was talking about my execute
Yeah, how ruthless you are.
and about like saying I was like, oh, I was just worried he was going to tell me I had a wife and kids, and I was just not going to care. And then they were, I can't even remember how the conversation went, but then we were talking about the kid that died. They were like, was it you? Did you kill the kid? And I was like,
so that's how
maybe.
you kind of got the blame for it.
So I was like, Neve would kill a kid. I was like, I would kill a kid, but maybe I would just kick them first.
You
So
should
now,
see Morgan's face right now, listeners. Morgan is horrified.
yeah.
So
So
we should put Neve down.
Maybe we should remove this from all media before police get hold of it.
So now Neve is known as the kid kicker because she was like, all right, it was definitely frowned upon to kill a kid, but to kick a kid might be
Is
all
also
right.
still frowned upon.
yeah,
But not as much.
and after
so-
those children gave you bubbles.
Yeah, I would,
You're
I would
like,
kick
"I'll kick them."
all kids, just,
Just
the
like-
annoying ones.
Yeah.
So yeah,
is all
I'm now
kids.
known as the kid kicker. Yeah, we just did our bar crawl, just made our way. We got to Wise Guys in Dawn, and then there was someone selling these rocky roads that were spicy rocky roads. And we managed to peer pressure some of the dread shields into eating it.
Well, it was me I don't know why, but I just found myself surrounded by dread shields, and I was about to eat one, and I thought, "How's this? Why is
You're
it
about
me?"
to eat a dread shield.
No, but eat one of these spicy rocky roads. I think it was because probably I just showed more interest in it, but I split it with another dread shield, and initially it was fine, but it was one of those kind of slow builds, and then it just gets hotter and hotter. It had Carolina Reaper powder, ghost chili powder, chili oils, all kinds of stuff, and it was delicious, but it was just really hot. And we were looking at each other, and neither of us, after a while, wanted to admit to the other how spicy it was. Neither of us wanted to be the one that broke first. What's the word? Is that toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
And I just said to him, neither of us wants to admit that this is fucking hurting us right now. And I've got quite a high spice tolerance, but it was through the roof. And then we got a few other.
You bought a couple more.
I bought a couple more,
split
yeah.
one with Rook.
Yeah, highly recommend them, by the way. If anybody really
I don't know
is
if they're
into
going
the,
to do them next time.
are they not? No,
They
he
said
that,
they said in the post, like, because they mentioned us in their hots and knots, like, thank you to my best customers, the Dread Shields. He's like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing them next time. So he might be. I don't know.
Well, seek him out. He was in Dawn where we saw him if he is selling them because they're really hot, but they're like you can still enjoy that it is great food, kind of hot. But then you got in a bit of trouble, didn't you, Neve?
I did. So we had some Rocky Road left and we were just wandering through. Obviously, we continued on our bar crawl. The sun had set, so it was dark, it was late. And we stumbled across our very good friend Murdoch and their partner Rain. And the Dread Shields and everyone were egging me on like, oh, give Murdoch the Rocky Road. Give him. And I was like, no, like what? They were like, just do it. It'll be really funny.
So upset with you.
Yeah. So I was peer pressured into giving Murdoch this spicy Rocky Road. So I was like, hey, do you know what? We bumped into
I'm pretty sure it was very much your idea.
No, it was not my idea. It did take a couple of people convincing me, but after I was like, yeah, right, it'd be funny. But I was like, but I do feel bad. What if he hates me? And
Or what if he hates spice?
Well, no, I didn't think about that. I was just purely thinking of selfish reasons. Like, what if they hate me?
I would have been fuming.
Yeah. So went up and I was like, hey, Murdoch, we got this Rocky Road from someone earlier and we saved you a piece. And they were like, oh, that's really sweet. Thank you.
No.
Like, oh, that's really nice of you to think about me. I was like, okay, cool. Gave it.
Cool story, bro.
Gave it to them. And then very swiftly moved on. So I wasn't there to see them eat it.
The aftermath.
Coward.
Yeah. Yeah, I very much ran away.
So Chloe,
So-
the cold stone killer, can't take a chili
because-
trick.
Because
You can't live with the guilt.
Oily OC is not a spice person.
No, I didn't.
Far from
yeah.
it. Which you didn't know, yeah.
I have apologized and I do feel really bad. But so Oily was like, OC, we're fine. I see Murdoch's coming for Neve. And I was like, that's fair. That's very fair.
Didn't you guys also feed some to his partner as well?
No, I think he split it with them. But
They didn't take it too well either, poor dear.
yeah, so
So there may
Sorry
be an
again.
attempt on your life at E3.
that's fine. It's very warranted. I mean, Chloe accepts it, Neve does not. But
I want Murdoch to put a bounty on your head.
that would be pretty damn sick, like me trying to evade it. But again, if you're listening, I'm very sorry, Oily.
Oily never listens to this podcast. He's too cool for
He just
us.
gave us an award for it anyway.
Pity award.
It's a fantastic award.
I love it.
So yeah, bar crawl, spicy Rocky Road. We were just stumbling around the dark trying to find bars. We ended up in the Marcher bar. Fantastic. I've never been into the Marchers before. Fantastic.
I
love
haven't.
it.
Was
What
that the
a
bar
vibe.
with the puppet, the scarecrow guy out the front?
Yeah,
That was a great bar. I
that
don't know
was.
what
We
that
ended up.
called.
We went back there at the end.
Where was
but
it?
In
in
Marchers.
the Marches.
I love the marches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what a vibe the Marchers it
I need
was.
to go to the marches and characters. Nietzsche still hasn't been
It's
to the
so
marches.
cool. So yeah, we did that and then kind of carried on drinking, looped around. We ended up, a few Dread Shields had gone home. There was only a few of us left.
And a bit of
And then-
pretext. Chloe's never had a hangover. She's one of those people that's lucky enough not to get hangovers.
Spoiler alert.
That night, I went home a little bit earlier, probably about 1 or 2 or something like that.
Yeah, so we ended up in Songs and Stories, and then you were like, yeah, I'm going to head to bed. I was like, well, I'm going to stay out if that's cool. And you were like, yeah, cool. I was like, sick. I'm going to drink.
And drank far too much.
Yeah, so I think by the time the last of us had gone to bed, I was wandering back to the tent at like 4:30 in the morning. It was light when I was getting back to the tent.
That's not hard in the summer, to be fair. Like this weekend just gone, it was like you'd be like, oh, it's about 3:30, and you'd look and be like, oh my god, the sun has
So that's the rest of your Saturday then.
Yeah, so it just rolls on to Sunday. So crack on with your Saturday,
So go
my friend.
back in time. The next thing I did was help Martin with another play. Well, I sent Salt to military council first because Nietzsche wanted to skip a meeting. Nietzsche had been to too many meetings. He wanted to do something else. So I offered to help Martin in another play. I just played a small part this time. He just needed goons to chase off this mountebank. Unfortunately, the theatre was taken at that time, so we had to do it on the Glory Square.
Oh.
And basically, they were doing, him and his friend were doing this really cool combat play. Like, they'd rehearsed it, were doing all the moves. It was proper fencing style.
That's cool.
Really fun to do. Got a few people watching. And just at the end, like, he's on the verge of defeat. she snapped his wrist, something like that. So someone like wrenches a bottle around to make the snapping sound. It's like,
Oh wow.
but the worst trick of all is you need to use your friends. And he's like, fools, get her. And we pelt across the glory square after this mountain battle. To which I think I saw you having your lunch, looking very confused.
I was just looking at it going, what is going on? There's a picture of it, like of the people, the person in the bag, and I saw you running away. It's just me. It's not a picture of me, but I know I'm behind that camera going, what the fuck is going on?
No, so that was quite a bit of fun. We got asked to do a favour from the quartermaster of the national block. So, as previously stated, Anvil usually ends up very oversubscribed for skirmishes. So as a favour to them, and I think this is both an IC and an OC kind of thing, they asked us to be gate bouncers. So essentially, it's not like an official role. The militia do it. But he just wanted us to stand in a line to stop people from getting around the sides and sneaking in through the gate in front of them. So they got everyone together on the first mission to bust up the V. We said we'd stand in a row, stop people from going to the side. So I think the Jackdaws did something nice. In fact, one of the people who also came from us from the a collector carry, the Broken Ode, was like, what the fuck is this? The Jackdaws are doing something for free that is benefiting the Empire? What the fuck is this? Who are you? What
That's
have you
very
done with
unlike
Nietzsche?
them.
It was just a nice thing to do, make sure everyone got the game. No one tried to gate bounce, though. I think it was because it was about 8 o'clock at night. It was very league-specific skirmish as well. And after that, we went back, got dressed up to go out on the second part of the Veeg skirmish, which was a lot of fun. As we've known in previous episodes, I've been umming and ahhing about going on skirmishes, but I was like, you know what? In downtime, me and my lads and ladies went to bust up the Veeg, living our Guy Ritchie Reservoir Dog style crime.
I don't know if we've said it on the podcast, but just the comparison of like fucking Dawn on the Eastern Front, like the Eastern Empire, but on the Eastern Front, but like the film, All's Quiet on the Western Front. Just the siege of the Spires of Dusk, Hounds of Glory falling apart, bleeding shit, death, and then in the fucking Temeshwar, just you guys banding around in the fucking Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, just kicking open doors, taking the Veeg hostage, stealing the bite. Obviously can't do that, I see, but just a bit of fun.
The reason you don't have it in your package because you took it after you.
Recruiting any Veeg who may have surrendered a little easier than the others. Just living the best gangster film life. But yeah, we're like, we've got to do this one. We've got to kind of finish them off. So we're all lining up there. Gabriel Barossa is leading the charge to go through the gate. And this moment meant a lot because I don't think our friend James, who plays Luther, was having the most fun event just because a few of the things he really, really wanted to do kind of fell through. And we got a bit of information mixed up. We thought we were going to Temeshwar again to bust at the Veeg. And you should have seen his little face light up when he heard we're going to bust at the Veeg outside of Holberg. He was like a child at Christmas. He's like, this has made my event so much better. The skirmish was fantastic. I don't know if it was the crew were tired, it was hot, it was 9 o'clock, or that we were just doing really, really well. But we went in and just minced the skirmish. Gabriel has compared it. He felt like a conductor in an orchestra. He commanded the Jackdaws to go on one flank. We just went to that flank and started mincing them. The Reapers went up front, did their job. Everyone was in the right positions, taking down the Druge and the Veeg, no problem whatsoever.
Nice.
It was just a lot of fun, just for a simple, there's no objective other than wipe every fucker out on this field, try take the Veeg alive. If there's any illicit objects like bite, hand them into the militia. Be a good citizen. Didn't find any bite, none of us, but we did find a shit ton of herbs to restock the coffers.
Was that from looting people? Or did you find
Oh yeah, we were looting people. Usually I forget to loot people in the big battle, but like the skirmish, I think I found 2 or 3 elixir vitae and a couple of true vein alone. One of my Jackdaws came back with a fat stack of about 30 different things. So we didn't get paid for the skirmish, but we probably made a few thrones between us. One of them found a sovereign specific. My dear Pike. Unfortunately, I think that's gone through the washing machine now.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You guys in Sovereign Specifics, you go through them like nothing without using them.
I know, it's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Lose them all before time in. But no, it was so much fun to get back on a combat skirmish. Absolutely loved it. mincemeat, felt like a fucking hero, profited. What more do you want? After that, went for, you know what? It's Nietzsche's chance to get a drink. So about 9:30, my day was done. So thought I'd go for a bit of a wander around, see who was about. Bumped into my good friend, the Reaper General, John. And when the boss was like, Nietzsche, come over here. I want to introduce you to some people. Met some lovely people. I think it was from the Withering Gaze or something like that. Maybe the Looking Glass. We got talking. And they was like, have you ever had your soul tattooed? I was like, no, but I've been thinking.
I've never heard testimony described as having your soul tattooed.
Yeah. I was like, no, but I've been thinking maybe get the Jackdaw, the Jolly Jackdaw's part of my soul, Jolly Jackdaw, just to be an advertisement. And like, no, fuck that. That's boring. Do you know what you are? No, what was it? I described myself as like, I have a wonderful head. At one point, for some reason, I think I said like, yeah, I go into the battlefield, this shiny dome, they shine it up before the battlefield. I blind the Drusha, my troops can charge in. It's like, they were like, we love that. Why don't you get wonderful head tattooed to your soul?
Oh no, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Wait, did you actually get a
Nietzsche.
testimony?
I've done a
Oh
testimony.
my
Nietzsche,
God.
why?
Can I just
What have you
like
done?
when Nietzsche gets reincarnated, right? And they're like, let's say he's done something, you know, Nietzsche's soul in his next life does something great, becomes like a general or a leader or something, and they're doing like, let's read your soul and see what your lives before you've done. And it just reads up, and the fucking priest doing it's like, I don't. What is it? Brave hero, glorious fighter,
Wonderful head.
wonderful head.
Because we were getting rumours. I heard that one of the jackdaws came through or something and said that Nietzsche was getting like a tattoo of his own face on his soul. And I was like, yeah,
can see the
that sounds
confusion.
about right. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Just like, you know, this would usually cost a liao, but for you, if you buy me a drink, so for 10 rings, I got my soul tattooed with wonderful head. And I just heard in the background my mate James that someone said, "This guy's a good sport." I said, "Yeah, Tom's a good sport."
That's so
I love that type of game. It has taught me I need to start carrying my little book around because I haven't memorized my player ID. So I'll go back to my tent to get my
so
player ID.
Do you not know it off by heart? 11673.
My dyspraxic brain or dyslexic brain struggles to remember numbers. Can remember my pure gym password though, which is a nice sign. But that was a lot of fun. Just Nietzsche getting peer pressured by like the more sophisticated
Peer
leaguers.
pressured or just having an idea suggested to him, because I don't think that's really peer pressure.
A little column A, a little column B. But the guy we went to at PD behind the desk working the computer was like, "What can we do for you, gentlemen? We need to get a soul tattooed." "Okay, what do you want to get testimonied?" "Wonderful head." It's like, right, I need to check the rules.
It's because it's like, what is it, a noun under descriptor?
Yeah.
Right, that's what it has to be.
Still counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Game of Empire. How much can you edge to making it filthy
There
before
is-
it gets...
there
Don't
is-
stop.
There is a few testimonies on the field which shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I think like they've happened now, but it's like these actually break the rules of testimony. But yeah,
And yeah, basically the rest of my evening, I bumped into Oily at some point.
Was this pre-Rocky Road?
I think this was pre-Rocky Road because I bumped into him at the Brass Coast smut reading I was looking in at.
Well, we saw him in the Brass Coast selling booze.
Yeah, I was there too.
Oily's becoming like the phantom of the podcast. We're going to have to bring him on for an episode.
we need to get him on to talk about smut. That's what we need to get him on.
Yes.
Yeah.
A smut special.
So yeah, I saw him there and his partner. They were selling some booze. The smut reading was quite interesting. I didn't stay for the whole thing because it seems to be a whole book, but it was a very entertaining freeborn one. I saw Ian and Tallis. Ian
and Tallis.
Tallis and Gellert there. Gellert had some great heckling lines. He's like, "You know what this smut is? The equivalent of a Dragon Ball Z charge-up. It's going on for so
All
long."
build up.
Fuck's sake.
And it was just like the lines, like, and he went up her leg and up and up and up and up. That was a fun little bit. And finally, I think my last little part of the night was going to Wise Guys. and bumping into the Reapers and having some wonderful drinks there. I've really grown to like the leaders of the Reapers and just having a little bit of a chat.
I think it's so funny how your conversation about the Reapers has changed from being quite intimidated by them, this big scary guild, and now you're just having drinks with them and having conversations that I won't discuss on the podcast with said members of the league. And I'm like, this is such a shift.
Going from accidentally on a codeine/drunken rampage to the Senate to
You're always mixing fucking codeine and booze on the weekend.
Yeah,
It only happened
Where
one
do you keep
time.
getting this, Cody?
This only happened once, but it was the first time I did it. Like, wait a second. The Reaper General's going for General? No.
Oh,
Go on.
sorry. I thought you meant you did it again
Yeah.
this event. No, okay.
I was going to say, I don't remember you saying that.
John's going for General. He's going to privatize the military. The Reapers can't have this. To now. It's crazy. But some of the conversation we were having there, I was also having conversations with the most handsome man of the league. I introduced him to the leader of the Reapers.
Oh, yes. Most handsome man in the Empire.
Love myself some John. And yeah,
Oh, well.
just finished off the night at the Senate, bumped into a drunken close. Like, what the fuck are you still doing awake?
You were in the Senate. Do you remember
Yeah.
being in the Senate? Yeah.
Well, so the Senate is like the bit where I remember pretty much most of the night, apart from the Senate. I remember saying that I was going to take over the Senate. I was going to rule the Empire and just be in classic Neve.
It just amused me because you're like, Nietzsche, what the fuck are you doing here? I was like, what the fuck are you doing here? It's 3 a.m. I'm usually the only one up at this time on Morgan.
I didn't even see you.
Nah, fair enough.
Yeah, mine evening was quite relaxed. It was one of those things where I never found a group that was still going or anything. So it was kind of it kind of filtered out towards the end.
Yeah. And at 3 a.m., bang, bedtime. The sun is rising.
Yeah.
I think 3 a.m. is a good cap.
You get a good 6 or 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah, you get an extra 2 hours gameplay. Like you say, you get a good sleep.
No, not
Goodish
good.
sleep.
Probably 5 hours comfortably before you got
Yeah.
ready.
Mate, if I'm going to bed at 3 a.m., I'm getting into my tent, crawling out of my clothes and passing out. I'm not.
You crawl out your clothes? I live the full Nietzsche experience.
Yeah.
No, I can't sleep in my clothes.
Well, obviously, I spent the time at the Boar's Head, and I was doing my dice
you
game
were
a
at the
bit.
Boar's Head?
I know. I was doing the dice game again, but that wasn't as big. But what did happen was there was 3 bards came over, but separately they came over, and then they ended up playing a song together for the first time. And it was
cool.
witnessing a little,
Union.
little meet cute for bards. It was cute.
Aw.
And then one of them ended up playing a rendition of, it was basically Hotel California, but he'd rewritten the words, and it was then called The Brothel of Madame Alora. Actually, I was there going, yes, I love this. And I need to see if I can get him to play at the Jackdaws party.
Yeah.
This event. He
Can't
seemed
wait for my
interested.
Jackdaws party.
Yeah.
None of you are invited.
Yeah, and then I just went off for a drink at one of the Brass Coast bars with a couple of leaguers. League. Yeah, of course. Salt and John Luca, and had a shot that had dry ice in a little cage in the bottom, so it was smoking, and it was really cool. Yeah.
Anything else for Saturday?
Yeah, I was going to say, because when I was at the Boar's Head, that was Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, when the fire happened.
Great Fire of Dawn.
That I had no idea about until the next morning.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I've largely forgotten about. It was my brain was a fucking puddle. I know I've forgotten.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get home and Emma's gonna go, did you speak about this? Did you speak about that? But honestly, my brain was just an absolute puddle. I forgot to say I gave out a load of flowers to people.
Yeah.
I can't talk too much about what I gave out because it spoils things about
'cause
people's flower
Flowers
codes.
have certain meanings in certain.
I will say I did accidentally get engaged.
Yes.
I won't give the details of that. Definitely found that in play, but Tristan is now accidentally engaged.
And not to Esty.
Not to Esty. Well, Tristan and Esty, I don't really have anything publicly available anyway, so it's fine. It's not. There's not. It's
It's one of those.
yeah, exactly. But yeah. No, it was a good time.
Thanks for listening to everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We'll see
Thank you for
you next
listening.
week for we wrap up Sunday, and then we'll see you next week. Bye.
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 We can't keep doing this for you.
We can't pander to you every
We can't
time.
come to him every
Well,
week.
it really doesn't take that much.
It
more
feels
effort.
forced now.
I enjoy it.
Well, you can do it, James. I'm not
Okay,
doing
okay,
it.
I'm
Right?
ready.
Fucking accept it, right?